Alicia, we could start from you.
I think Malala's story is the story of a young woman finding her voice. It's about having a voice and being able to express yourself under circumstances of freedom and in a context, or desirable to do so in a context of freedom and not being oppressed and prevented from doing so. And if there's one thing I've heard a lot in this forum, it's women talking about how they felt silenced by being told that they were too pretty or too elegant, or not to dare to express themselves. I think one of the most important things that women, particularly young women throughout the world, need, in addition to education and welfare and social interventions, is to have a voice, to be able to...
But the question is how, sorry to interrupt you, but I think we had a very specific question here about what to do so that, just if you permit me please, the idea is that the media and everybody now has put Malala up on the screen in every paper. I guess the question was, what do you do to make sure that this doesn't go away when everybody goes back to business as usual?
In addition to giving her a voice by telling her story over and over again, I think if every delegate in this room, at this forum, took responsibility for giving young women voices where they are, in what they do, through mentoring, through leadership, through interactions that enable women to rise in the private sector, to rise in politics and leadership, the more women who have voices and can express themselves, the less we will have cases like these where expression and freedom of expression are crushed and women are told to keep quiet and not express themselves.
Clara?
I totally agree with Christine. We have to sign something and take a decision from here for Malala, but there is not only one Malala. And I think to answer your question, I think what we have to say is that Malala is not only a victim, she's a talent. And there is a lot, as you say, a lot of girls who are talented, and they can't express the talent because they don't have education, or even when they have access to education, they don't have access to job, and they don't have access to power. What I'm trying to say is that we shouldn't only be emotional on victims, but on the fact that we are power. We have also be emotional on the fact that we have to empower ourselves. And all of us, we have our experience of frustration, of things that we haven't been able to do, but we have overcome that. It's what we hope for Malala, and it's what we have to say. The way we have to say is that she's not only a victim, she is a woman who can give something to the country.
She's a 14-year-old.
Can I tell a quick story on this?
Very quick, because I need to bring other people in.
It also happened in Pakistan, and many of you probably remember Mukhtar Mai, who was gang raped, and everybody expected in her society that she would kill herself because, after all, it wasn't what was done to her, it was the fact that she was now spoiled in some terrible way. And somehow she got the courage to take her attackers on through the court system, and after difficulties in manning that process, she was able to get some small damages for what happened to her. She took that money and she invested it in a school for girls and a school for boys, enrolled herself in the school for girls because she herself was illiterate. Nobody could understand why she did this, and when she was asked, she said, "Nothing will change without education." And that's certainly true for every girl. The investment in education for a girl is the single best development investment that can be made because of the payoffs. But in far too many places, just like you said, Clara, what happened to Malala is horrible. But there are so many young women today, girls today, who cannot go to school. And this needs a massive effort on everybody's part in their own way. But it also means we put pressure on our elected officials.
That's right.
And, tell them these are important issues when these are issues really rarely discussed in the body politic. Let's face it.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Pastor board member of Planeta International. Thanks very much for all your comments. Regarding all the issues we go through about growth and these new growth models, it seems to me that these new models rely on different global solutions and the understanding of different business activities. How energy will impact water business, how water business can impact health business for emerging countries, for instance. So, what do you think about new leaders and their profile? Do we need also to empower a little bit more cooperation between companies? Because to reach that global solutions, to reach that mixed activities, we need to cooperate between companies. And I